Hello, ladies and gentlemen. MJ, aka Victor here, and a lot of energy going on. If I can be frank with y'all, um, I don't like talking about this stuff. It's not like this is something that I enjoy speaking on, but I'm not going to sit silent while these things go on. Um, I'm not going to participate in the deception, and I want to be part of the solution. Did a video before saying the options that we are given are options that generally benefit the system that's oppressing us. And we don't see it, but we're starting to see it. We're seeing the agent provocateurs, we're seeing them put out bricks and all of that stuff. Um, but we don't see the bigger picture. We're still angry, we're still emotional. They still have us caught up in this black and white thing. It has nothing to do with race, even though that is something that is being uncovered now. This is bigger than race. This is bigger than race. Um, it's hard for people to fathom someone that does not care about you. Like, I talk to people, talk to a lot of people, and the majority of people are good. Where's the camera? Yeah. The majority of people are good. The vast majority of people are good. I had this conversation with a relative of mine. And my evidence for that, not take my word for it, is just look at the world. Um, if the people were as bad as they're portrayed, your world would be different than it is. Not saying it's perfect. There's still a lot of things we can do better, but the majority of people are good. That's a good thing. The bad part of the majority of people being good is we become docile. You know, they call them sheep, sleep, whatever name you want to use. Um, we're starting to run out of time, so I don't know if there's going to be time. Like, I'm hoping for a. I don't know, like the word, like to use the word hope, but I'm hoping for an awakening. Um, so I'm putting out the information to help generate that. I mean, that's all we can do because they do not care about us. Um, I work in corporate America, right? I've been in corporate America for 20 years, ever since I've graduated college. Corporate America is all about money. Bottom line, increasing profit. That's what corporate America is about. Period. Bringing shareholder value, increasing profit. They will do anything to do that, right? They don't care about you, me, or anybody else. This is what they care about, right? Money. Okay. So you have an idea about that. You have a feeling about that. Inside the corporation, you have things like political correctness, you got HR, you got all of these things, all of these layers that keep expression from happening. So I can't talk about this stuff at my job. I could, but when I observe, most of the people there are just running this program. Like, this whole racism thing, my experience, what I've seen, what I hear, it's I'm a black man, so I'm giving you my perspective. I've experienced racism. It's something that is, like I said before, extreme ignorance. But it's not, and some people are gonna get mad at me. It's not their problem. They don't see that as their problem. Just like I posted a video before, how the lady said, I forgot her name. She was talking to a group of white people and said, if you wanted to be treated like an African American, stand up. They didn't stand up. It's not their problem. They know and they're aware of it. In this corporate world, they're aware of it. Now, the reason I mentioned the corporate world is because in talking to other people, my eyes were open as well. I didn't know that this world driven by data and numbers and bottom line and increasing profit and margins and all of this stuff and getting the most profit for the least amount of money paid, right? That's what it's all about. And it's a system that's made to extract wealth from the poor and give it to the wealthy. I mean, it's a trickle up system. And if you don't believe that, just look at the data. This is what this system is, right? This is the system that we're trying to vote people in and rearrange. I'm not in agreement with burning down anything. I think the system needs to be burnt down. The imaginary system needs to be burnt down. We can use those buildings and we can use those to educate ourselves and to help ourselves and organize and all of this stuff. But the system needs to go. Let's not vote in another puppet to this system. So this same way of doing business, way of just looking at money, just looking at bottom line, just looking at numbers, data, right? Becoming more robotic, less soulless, less human, has infiltrated not only the business, because you can think of a cutthroat businessman. Hey, I'm going to make as much money as I can. That's how we do it. But what about the police department, the fire department, the education system? We already know the government is in the pocket of people that got money. Like a lot of these bills, I won't say a lot, but I don't even want to get into politics. Anyway, it was surprising to me that the police department and fire department were also ran from a number standpoint. It's not the quality of the call, it's how quick you respond to the call, stuff like that. So don't put your faith in outside influences doing anything. That's why I'm not a big fan of marching and protesting, because you're asking someone to do something for you that you should be able to do for yourself. And speaking of protest, I'll just mention this. It was interesting how quickly we organized and dispersed, and rightfully so, in these different areas. The whole Black Lives Matter movement. Now, of course, it was hijacked and it was used to incite more violence, and now they're talking about curfews and all of this stuff, right? So problem, reaction, solution, right there in front of your face. And I'm trying to get people to see this, because you got to think smarter and realize these people don't care. They will get on TV and tell you they care. They don't care. They do not care. Here's one example of how they don't care. And this is one of the smoking. This is what really started to wake me up inside of this matrix. Is 9/11. Now that happened a while ago, and I talked to people not too long ago, and they still don't know there was a third building that fell. It's amazing. It's not amazing. It's not amazing. To me, it's amazing because I'm someone that wants to fight this system. I'm someone that wants to be part of the solution. So anyway, this building fell, okay? Didn't get hit by a plane. There was a study done by the architects and engineers from 9/11 Truth. They worked with the University of Alaska. So a university did a study to kind of determine what happened to this building. How come it fell? Was it small pockets of fire like we were told? It wasn't hit by a plane. These two fell down pretty much in their footprint, near free fall speed. They were hit by planes. But this one just had small pockets of fire and fell within its own footprint. And there's even stories of people reporting on it before it happened. You can call it conspiracy theory if you want to, but just Google 9/11 Alaska study. And you will see that the university concluded that it did not fall from small pockets of fire. And the way that it fell was from a structural collapse. It had to be pretty much simultaneously. Just read the study for yourself. That's the smoking gun. Now, other things happened when the study was published and it got buried. And of course, I'm not going to bring this stuff up because that sheds light on these people that would actually do all of this stuff on purpose. And as I happened to look at it, it was 9/11. But it is amazing to see. And I don't know how we get out of it. Like, it's interesting being in this position, because I've talked about this stuff for publicly 6 years. I really started researching this, and then I wanted to know, okay, well, if this is true, and it's a tough pill to swallow. Like, wait a minute, there's people that I may know or I may see or that are potentially in Washington or wherever that could orchestrate or let something like this happen. Or just people behind the scenes that will kill innocent people, justify a war to kill more people for something that was a false flag. That happened. That happened here in America, the land of the free, home of the brave. This is the truth. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you stuff like this. I wish I had a better story to tell you. I really do. So we're gonna have to change our mentality very quick, and that's where we're gonna have to organize. The way Black Lives Matter organized and all that stuff, I wouldn't have done it the way they did it, but I'm not an organizer on that level. If you want to protest, hit them where it hurts. Hit them in the pockets. But that's not much of an option because I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But I will say this. One of the things that would have been cool to see is all of these people organizing in all of these cities. Instead of organizing to do riots and protests, why don't you use that same network of people and organize to create a business or create something that generates profit or change for those communities? You got the network. Instead of throwing a brick at something, why don't you take that brick and build something? A simple example. All of those people in that network say, okay, you know what? Black people wear a lot of weave. Yeah, I know it's stereotypical, but we do wear a lot of weave. So why don't we create our own company and buy our own weave? Just a step, simple step. Yeah, but something. What's going on now is exacerbating the problem, and it's playing into the hands of these people. And it sucks because I can talk till I'm blue in the face to you, and you can deny this all you want, but it doesn't change that fact. It doesn't change this fact. It doesn't change this fact, this fact, this fact. And denial is understandable because people don't want to look at how ugly things are. But putting your head in the sand is not going to solve it. We have to face this head on. We got to be strong. We got to be resilient. I hear people talking about, well, we need another Martin or another Malcolm or another, some people waiting on Jesus to come back. Okay, I can understand that perspective, but you know what Jesus would do. You know what Malcolm would do, what Martin would do. Do it. They gave you the blueprint. They gave you the example. They were no one special. Do it. Become that person. Become Jesus. Oh, blasphemy. Become Martin. Become Malcolm. Become anyone that you feel is part of the solution and not just sitting on your butt. And I see a lot of people sitting on their butts. And we're not going to get out of this sitting on our butts. And time is of the essence because once the gates close on this thing, like I said before, it's going to be tough to get out. And I'm not going to ever be the one to say I told you so. I'm going to always hold this space, the space that I hold in the middle of the hurricane, in the eye of the hurricane, around all the chaos, a space of truth, a space of things that would benefit, that would help, of unity, all the things that we need to do. And okay, to the conscious community, to the star seeds, light workers, whatever names you want to call yourself. There's fakery in that realm as well, just like there is in the religious realms. But if you're serious, then we have to be that example. Now is the time for us to be that example of unity and coming together. Yeah, we do our things in different pockets, and I'm a small player on that scale. I'm a small player on that scale, but this is what we have to do. I mean, because this is what we signed up for, and we have to be the example for other people. They're already gonna look at us like we're crazy and all of that stuff, but they can't look at any of this stuff. That's the thing. It's easy to just dismiss somebody. That's how they do it. Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Well, okay. I mean, prove me wrong. There's been false flags before. there's been lies told before. You don't think that can happen here? You don't think there's been lies before? I know I've been lied to. All right, y'all. We're going. I want to be optimistic. I want to say we're going to get through it. I want to say we're going to overcome, but it's not going to happen because of any rah-rah. And I don't want you to get confused in what I'm saying. I'm not saying go out there and beat the street and be violent and all this stuff. Protect yourself, absolutely. But there's smarter ways to do it. They have more weapons and resources and stuff than we do at this point. Well, not exactly, but we're not organized yet. So it's up to it benefits them to keep us apart and fighting each other. And we're fighting all of this stuff over the race while all of this stuff is going on. And all of the stuff in the background. And I hate to, these people that do this do not care about you one iota. One iota. But they can get on TV and they can do all of these things and they can entertain you, they can be charming, all of this stuff. But they do not care about you. They do not care about you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really do. And it is what it is. But I just want you to just open your mind to the possibility. Because you see it. You see it. And it's cognitive dissonance. It's like, I see this going on. But I really can't accept that it's going on. But it's going on. And it's continuing to go on. And it's going to get to the point where by the time you accept it, you're going to be in a situation where I don't even want to speak on it. So I have no problem with dying. I have no problem with death or anything like that. I want my life to count. I know I'm going to die. Everybody that's watching this is eventually going to die. You're going to wake up and go to sleep or go to sleep and wake up. But when you realize who you are from a spiritual standpoint, you don't fear death. You know, you're an immortal spiritual being. That doesn't mean that I'm going to throw my life away. I want it to count. I want it to mean something. And doing this kind of work is dangerous. Telling this information is dangerous. Yeah, it is dangerous. But not doing something is more dangerous. We can't sit on the fence. Now's not the time to sit on the fence. And a lot of people are still sitting on the fence. They think it's just going to die down. It's going to go away because it has before. And maybe to a degree it will. You know, something else will happen. But all of this stuff that's going on in the background is not dying down. These guys are still going strong. And the plan that they laid out is not for us. It's not in our best interest at all. And I don't, again, I want to be it's the truth. I'm sorry. I have to tell you the truth. And there's so much more that's going on. And I'm not rich and famous by any means. I'm just doing the best I can with what I have. I feel I am a soldier. I want to apply my will, intellect, brain, talents, and everything to fight this problem. And when I do out, when I go out, I want to go out swinging for the head of the snake and not the tail of the snake. Right now, we're just chopping at the tail of the snake, and the tail grows back. The tail grows back. You got to get that joker at the head. Yeah. We got some ways to go, y'all, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. It's just a lot of energy going on. I'm just trying to be real. I'm not trying to make anything sugar-coated or anything like that. It's not like I got big productions and all of this stuff. I mean, I'm just a boot on the ground. I mean, I'm telling you what Jesus would tell you. I'm telling you what any of these people that you quote-unquote potentially look up to would tell you. The truth. No one owns the truth. You can't get ordained in the truth. There's no version of the truth. It either is or isn't. It either is a fact or not. It doesn't care what you believe or what you think or what your faith is. This building either fell down or didn't. Okay? Did it fall down from this fire? Yes or no? Okay, if it didn't, then what they told us was not true. So that's a big question mark. You can continue to go down the rabbit hole and you'll see that it goes very deep and it's all connected. And it boils down to us and what we're going to do in our response. And we got to do better. We got to do something, y'all. All right, peace.